Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spin It Social Hour. My name is Stefan Kaplan, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here with everyone this evening. Thursday nights, 9 o'clock, every other Thursday, we're here introducing you to some of the greatest photographers around and letting them tell their stories and share their journeys and, of course, their work. The Spin It Social Hour is a labor of love born out of care and concern that I started quite a while ago, actually, when the pandemic hit. Because I decided that when this pandemic started, I was going to start to give back to the photo community, and I was going to help the photographers out there do just what we're doing, bringing them on here and letting them tell you all about their journeys and their work. So I am a social media and visual strategist. I've worked with the likes of the Pulitzer Prizes. I've also worked with AARP, the Jackson Charitable Foundation. I am a adjunct professor at FIT, teaching the fundamentals of social media to a group of wonderful photography students. And I am a former photo editor at the New York Times for 15 years. I was a supervising photo editor for the New York Times wire service. Let me tell you, it has been quite a journey over this year for everybody. I hope everyone is doing well out there. I know it's been a grind. I know it's been really tough on everybody. And we're getting some light in the horizon there. The vaccines are here. Hopefully everybody's starting to get theirs, and I wish everyone well. But to be here and to do this every week with you guys, it is an absolute pleasure. So tonight we are here to introduce you to Ranita Roy. Ranita was a guest on my second Spin It Social Hour, but we had to bring her back because she has accomplished so much over the past year that we had to have her back. So I want to give her the build-up that she deserves, as usual, that I give every photographer. So here we go. I've been shooting street photography since I started photography. I always believed in street photography as a powerful tool for growth, which concealed many secrets in a simple walk, says Ranita Roy, the documentary photographer and visual artist. To me, street photography is not only a genre, but delicate visual poetry. It is a combination of shadows, movements, looks, and connections, hinted by the geometry of framing. Ranita was born in Andul, a small town in India outside of Kolkata, where she is currently based. She completed a master's degree in environmental science. Along with her graduate work, she took courses in botany, zoology, anthropology, which helped her understand the interrelationships between the land and its people in a very intimate way. In 2019, Ranita also participated in the 7th annual New York Photo Review, organized by the New York Times, as well as joined Reuters as a photojournalist. Last year, she participated in Reuters' Hostile Environment Training Program and was shortlisted for the 2020 Inge Morath Award by the Magnum Foundation. Her work has been published in a wide range of media, including Al Jazeera, The Guardian, and BBC, among many others. Her photography has also been recognized in various national and international platforms, such as UNESCO. She adds, I love to document my observation and feelings and show the different moods of life. Wow. Ranita has done so much. It is just a pleasure to bring her on. Folks, welcome the wonderful Ranita Roy. Good morning, Ranita.
Good morning.
I know how early it is for you, so thank you for being here with us at such a early hour in Kolkata.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, like I said, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Oh, Sri Srinivasan is here. Sri is, oh man, what an honor to have Sri here, watching from New York City. So, Ranita, how are you doing? I hope that buildup was good enough for you. It was such a pleasure editing and curating your work this week, and to be able to go through your work just showed me so much of what you've accomplished in 1 year. So how are you doing, Ranita?
So in December, I moved out from my hometown, Andul, to Kolkata for professional reason, because there I was not getting enough assignments. And right now I'm in Kolkata and I'm doing assignments and everything. So yeah, everything is fine here. So yeah.
That's great. I'm glad, because I know that the pandemic has hit India as hard as this hit many places. And we're always thinking of the people in India and everywhere, and we hope that it gets better. But I'm glad that you're safe. I'm glad that your family's well. And so it must, what a year you've had, Ranita, since we last talked. I mean, the last time we talked, you were doing a lot of stuff, but in the 12 months since then, you've skyrocketed. You've done so much great work, working on many projects with several, NGOs and stuff, and also working with Reuters. Tell us what's been going on.
So in 2020 October, I think I got the NGO assignments, and that was a international NGO, and I worked with them for I think 1 week, and that was about environment and climate change, and also about women empowerment. So I really enjoyed that assignments. After that, I was doing some assignments with Reuters, and right now I'm more like focusing on my personal projects. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I have a thing. I was sharing the post to make sure it gets maximum exposure while I put you on solo there. So anyway, so Ranita, the story with you is incredible. It's one of my favorite stories in photography. I absolutely adore it. I tell it all the time to friends and to colleagues, because it's one of those perfect stories about how a photographer was discovered. And that's exactly what happened with you. So, tell us about it, because I know I'm going to show some slides as we get ready to do that here. Hold on one second. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So you started taking pictures. The story is without even your own camera, right?
Yeah.
So tell us how you developed your love and passion for photography.
Actually, this photograph I think I took in 2014, and that time I was like a amateur photographer, and I was shooting through my mobile phone. And I can remember the day I was I came back from my school, and it's my hometown. I was with my mom, and that light was really great. And I saw this picture, and just took. But it's a mobile phone capture, so it's a really special photograph for me actually.
Yeah.
But after that, I didn't have any DSLR, so I asked some of my friends, they have DSLR, so they gave me their DSLR. But sometime I captured photograph, but they didn't give me my photograph. So it's like I really wanted a DSLR, but it's like I cannot afford it. But my dad gave me a D7000, Nikon D7000 camera in my birthday in 2015, I guess. Yeah, that's how it's all started.
Well, it's what a story. What a story it is, though. That's a beautiful photograph, considering it's so early on in your career. You had the eye all along. But you went to a big festival, the Exposure Festival in the UAE, correct? And you went there, and the story goes, from, if I remember correctly, because I'm such a big fan of it, is that you went there and you entered your photos into the competition, and the judges were looking at the disc, and they realized, they were like, wait a minute, this isn't her disc. So are these her photos? Now, naturally, they figured it out, but that must have been quite the moment of discovery for you with the judges and everything. What an incredible thing to have happen.
Yeah, they called me, and they are like, those are not your photograph. I'm like, no, it's my photograph, but I don't have full frame camera, so I used my friend's camera.
Right.
So that's how they're like, okay, now we know that it's your picture, and they make a story out of the whole thing, and it's on Reuters, I think. So yeah, it's a really special moment for me. I think Exposure Photography Festival is I call it like a gateway of my photographic dream.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a really special moment. I still can remember all the things.
We have like I said, I'll tell the story for my existence on this earth. I love it. Edward is a guest, and I've been a guest and a big fan of this show. Edward says the best camera is the one you have at the moment. And when you have the eye for capturing something incredible, that is when you are in the zone and everything comes together like a fine symphony. Beautiful work. Edward is a poet and an absolute huge fan of photography. He's a great photographer himself. So what a compliment that is. But, you know, along this journey, when you were there, Ranita, you met the legendary British photojournalist, Sir Don McCullin, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's him in the middle there looking over photos with you guys. And, you know, but then, you know, you got to stand there and be with him during this big festival, talking about your photos with him. What was that like?
I mean, it was incredible, I think. And but back then, I didn't have any idea about, you know, I mean, photography and who are the photographers in internationally, because I was just doing my photography. I didn't know anyone. But when I get there, I get to know so many amazing photographers. And when I met him, he inspired me so much. He's like, if you really love photography, just do it and don't think of success now. Just do good work and it will lead you to the success. So yeah, it's just amazing. And he actually gave a very detailed review on my work. So that really helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the thing is that, you know, he's been around he's such a, you know, he's a legend. So the bottom line, I'm sure, looking at your photography, especially the photo that in this photo here that you're looking at, I'm going to show it well, we actually had it in the opening. It's stunning. It's stunning. And the light, your use of light is phenomenal. And I think that's one of the things that's captured the imagination and the eye of so many people out there in the photo world. I mean, you've done so much, like I said already, but, you know, getting to meet him, Timothy Allen, and be at this big exposure festival. I know you were there with also the two-time Pulitzer Prize winning friend of ours and photojournalist Estras Suarez. You know, we're always going to mention Estras, right? You know, a big fan. But after you were at the exposure festival, you ended up coming to New York, right? And you ended up getting into the New York Times portfolio review.
Right.
You met my old colleague and my wonderful friend for a long, long time, James Estrin, one of the top photo editors in the world and photographers. James is a legend in the business in his own right. He was the co-founder of the Lens blog and many things. So you met them, you put your work in the portfolio review, and they noticed something obviously about it. And then you started talking to them about the ordeal that you've dealt with for quite some time, which is sleep paralysis, correct?
Yeah.
So tell us about how this all developed with the New York Times and then getting in the Lens blog, and how you then told the world about your story in photography about what you've been dealing with with your sleep paralysis issue.
So when I started the sleep paralysis work, I never thought that it will be on Lane's blog or someday. I was just doing for myself, and when it developed, I thought that I should share it with the people, because many of the people, they are surviving these things. So and most of the people who don't have sleep paralysis, they misunderstood these things. So we need to clear these things, that it's not a disease actually, and it's not unreal, it's real, it's very much real who actually experience these things.
Yeah.
So actually I entered into New York Times portfolio review, and when I got selected, it was really unreal. Yeah, it was really unreal. I never thought that I'll be selected, but yeah. Then I got selected, but I was not happy because I thought I cannot go to New York because I didn't have any money. It's expensive in New York, and that time I was not doing any assignments. I didn't have any assignments and anything. I was just a photographer, shooting on street every day. It's just I didn't have money. So many people, I think many of my mentors and extras, he helped me to start a GoFundMe, and amazing response I got from that GoFundMe, that so many people from all around the world, they helped me with these things. And finally I went to New York and I met amazing editors, and many of them, they liked the work. And finally it got published in Lens blog. So yeah, I mean, it's just so unreal, still so unreal. And after it published in New York Times Lens blog, many of people, they emailed me, they sent me message that yeah, we are also experiencing the same things, thanks for doing this story. So I think after got all the response from people, I was a little bit satisfied, yes, that yeah, people are responding on it, and many people experiencing these things, and they want to share their experience also. So I am continuing this story still now, maybe in a different way, not the same approach. But I am also including other people's experience in my work right now.
Well, it's so deeply personal, and that is the really special thing about you, is that the way you broke into this industry and this business and everything, to be able to start revealing something of yourself so early on is so honest and is so genuine, to be able to help people with the condition of sleep paralysis and make people understand that this is, like you said, not something that's a figment of your imagination. It's real. And to document it the way you did is so moving. I mean, you captured these photographs. This one photograph that really grabs me is this one so much, because tell us about this image.
So this is nothing but a moon, and you can see a fire. So I found it like a human figure, something like that. So I took this picture. It's nothing that I set it up. It just happened, and when I saw that it's a human figure, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like it was meant to be, that you were looking for that moment to document something about what you're dealing with. I mean, it looks like a woman's figure or a person's figure, and in the dark with the ambers up in the air and everything, it's really, really telling. And then, of course, these others are equally as telling in terms of the topic at hand. But so, we move on from the New York Times and doing the Lens blog and all the feedback you got. I was looking through the Lens blog the other day and looking at all the comments from people about the condition. And it's so true. You got so many comments from people around the world about this. So I try to tell everybody, go to the Lens. I want to tell everybody, go to the Lens blog, look up Ranita Roy, New York Times, and sleep paralysis, and take a look at the Lens blog, and then read the comments. They're really moving, and it's really an incredible story. But we move on I want to talk about your family, and I want to talk about how you've developed as a photographer and the beautiful, endearing relationship you have with your dear grandmother. Because I found this photo, and it just makes me almost like tear up thinking about my grandmother. Because we all have, grandmothers are so special. But this photo is absolutely stunning. And what makes it is that your photo of her is right behind you. So tell us about your relationship with your grandma and what she meant to you, because we're going to be showing a bunch of those photos as we get into the show a little more.
So I think for me, my grandma is the strongest woman I ever seen. And she's she's for me a role model. And she taught me so many things about life and how to be positive in any situation, whatever situation you are in right now. Be positive and have fun with your life. I think she's the woman who is I can see she's always happy, and she's playing with children in this age, and she's making fun of something. I mean, she's so amazing. It's just this story I did on my grandma in 2016. Back then, I didn't have any idea how to do a photo story. One day, what I did that I captured her one photograph and I put it on social media, and everyone is like, "Oh, this is an amazing photograph," and I got really amazing response. And that time, for me, yeah, actually, that was really amazing that people are responding on my work on social media. So I started developing the work as like daily life, her daily life, and what she does in this age. And I was all alone with her, and I captured every moment. I think you can see a moment where she's cooking, and she's doing so many daily life things. Um, Yes, I also am doing a little short video on her right now, and these images are really special for me. Uh, I mean, still, it's like I'm living in this moment, and I can still remember that I didn't have any idea how to develop a photo story, but I don't know how I did it, but it just happened. And we shared a lots of stories, and I get to know her more when I started this project.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to tell you, they all, each one of these images, as we go a little bit in reverse here, are absolutely stunning. But it's that special feel that you give to each one, being that she is your grandmother and you know her so well, that you captured every moment, through her daily life, as you said, whether it's in the kitchen cooking. This is such a beautiful, just a beautiful moment, just so normal, but it's just so perfect. Or gardening or planting stuff or playing with members of your family, a wonderful board game here, or her showering, and from behind here. And this photo, though, right here is absolutely striking. Once again, it has that same feel. You love to use light so wonderfully. You really do. How did you get so good with light? How did you get so good with light?
I really don't have any idea. Maybe I can just. I mean, nobody taught me about light and how to use light and everything. But from childhood, I love to do paintings and sketching, all those stuff. And I always look for details, and I love using lights because I think I don't use artificial light that much in my photograph, because I love natural light, and I know that we can do so many things with the natural light. And Yeah, and I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, nobody taught me. It just happened.
Well, and let me, you see, it's just you just have a natural talent that way of how to use light. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's very exciting when natural talent supersedes everything else. And that's exactly what you have. And that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But one of the things I want to also talk to you about mentorship. And I want to, but first, I want to talk to you about mentorship first, because it really is important to acknowledge people in our lives that have done so much. And one of the things that is so, here's another very endearing photo. Rose Horowitz says, "I love the photo of her grandmother standing in the kitchen. It has the intimacy and contrast of a Vermeer painting." Wow, what a compliment. Thank you, Rose, for contributing and being here tonight. Thank you so much. I love this too. It's so sweet. You're showing your grandma the photos on your camera. What does she think of how photography is done now with digital cameras? Does she talk to you about it, or do you talk to her about it?
Before I was shooting, the thing, and she doesn't have any idea about photography that much.
Okay.
But when I started photography, I never found her like uncomfortable. She was always comfortable, and she was like, "Yes, you can take my photo anytime." I mean, you can see she is also, I took her picture while she was, taking shower,
Right.
and it's really amazing when she's like, "Yeah, you can take my picture," while I'm showering. I'm like, really? I mean, it's rare where Indian woman is saying that you can take my picture while I'm
Right.
showering. And
Right.
that time, I'm like, I was shocked, and she was so relaxed. She was like, nothing is going on, and she's so happy that I'm, publishing her photograph. And many of my friends, they actually brought some of the photographs, and she's really happy. She's just really happy, and even right now, I'm doing a small film on her, and you never find her uncomfortable in front of camera.
Wow.
She's so real.
Yeah,
You even have to tell her what to do.
the Edward says the mirror.
She can understand the camera. She can understand the light, and she gave my like a model, because before when I started, I had to tell her that, yeah, you should stand here, or like, here I need that light. But right now she understands light. Right now she's the master of light. I think she understands where she has to look. So it's really amazing. Yeah.
That is wonderful. You're gonna have to do an entire book on just her. You know that, right? I want a book on her, because I want to put it in my photography collection. Okay? So I'll help you get it published. But Edward says the mirror kiss of your grandma is full of love for life, an uplifting and amazing image, and the black and white tones are spectacular. Yes, Edward's an avid Leica user. He really understands the use of light and black and white photography. Like I said, he's really, really good. But let's move on for a second from your beautiful grandma. Let's talk about, I love this photo because it's of your grandma, somebody so important in your life, and your mentor, Sudipta. So tell us about Sudipta, and tell us about what he means to you as a mentor.
So I met him, I think, in 2015 during a social meetup, and I knew him before. It's just everyone knows him like he's a like a mentor, and he's teaching photography. But I couldn't afford, So I was like, okay. But when he saw my photographs, and all the photographs, most of them are I took with my mobile camera at that time, and he saw my photograph, and he was like. He really liked my work, and he was like, I will teach you. So he always tell me that I never teach you how to do photography. He teaches me how to use a DSLR, because I didn't have any idea about DSLR, how to use a camera, and I'm not good with technical things. So he teaches me, I think, about the technical part of photography, and he reviewed all my work when I was shooting then back then, and uh, yeah, he's like my mentor in photography and also in life, because whatever I am right now, I think I have a big, I need to give him a big thank you. Just
Well,
he is
wait. Hold on 1 second, though. Because if you're going to thank him, let's do it in person. Hello, Sudipta. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, absolutely. Hello, Ranita.
Ranita, look who I found.
Ranita, good morning.
Good morning.
Ranita, do you not know me by now that I'm going to surprise you with something? I mean, the second show a year ago, I surprised you with Estras, and now I went in and I found Sudipta the other day, and I said, yeah, I have to have you on the show.
Yeah, but I never thought this.
I mean, he's your mentor. He's your life coach.
It's a good surprise, though. So yeah.
So why don't Sudipta, tell Ranita was telling us about you, but you took this beautiful photograph right here on the screen of her on the mountain overlooking this beautiful valley, it looks like. Tell us about the gift that Ranita has, and tell us how you've worked with her and what a special gift she has.
Actually, first time when I met Ranita, that was in a contest when Ranita clicked one picture through her mobile, and it was beautiful. I just tell you that uh, nobody teaches Ronita how to use light because it's inbuilt. How to use light, it's her main strong point. First thing is that. Second thing is that he her the composition sense. It is amazing, and as she told that she got the information from me about the little bit nitty gritty and few technical parts. But the thing is that the amazing thing of what she is having, that if I capture the one thing with her, then the thing what I cannot see abnormally, she can see normally. That is the main part. And when she stood fast in that contest, she socially we met once in a meeting, and then I found there is some spark in her. So I know that that time Rohita told me that she cannot afford. Uh, th- that doesn't make any sense, because if she is having talent, so, as a mentor, as a teacher, I should come up and hold her hand to bring in the stage. So, Rohita did, I make some platform only. But Rohita, the journey, what she made by herself.
Yeah, no,
And
I
and many
go ahead.
and me in many shooting, I used to be with her, and I saw the dedication, because Ronita actually represents 3D. One is dedication, devotion, and determination. These
Dedication.
three
Okay.
makes her the Ronita Roy, the Roy.
Yeah,
So
no,
that
that's beautiful the way you put it. Dedication, determination, and I'm sorry,
absolutely,
the three Ds, the three Ds.
yeah,
But
3D,
I have to tell you, Ranita, it's really amazing because you went through this. You won the award at the festival. Yeah, also the TAPSA winner here, one of the TAPSA winners. One of your photos recently was last year was one of the pictures of the year for Reuters in their category from India, of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway steam train. Wonderful story on your website, which people can go to and check out at ranitaroy.com, and check out all of her other work too. We'll be going through other work, but this is a really great story on that railway. But, you know, so much of your work has been picked up all over Instagram. I tell everybody, you have to go to Instagram and you have to check out Ranita's work on Instagram. And we'll get into a bit of it in a little bit. We have to show some of your stories because you are an absolute incredible visual artist when it comes to creating stories on Instagram. You are so different and everything is so creative. I love seeing your feed every day. It's always something exciting to look at and something very telling. But EcoFem here picked up your photos. You've worked with the 2020 with the Women Photograph Workshop here with all these incredible women photographers, and then including Maggie Stieber and Sudipta Roy and all these people that some of them judged work of yours recently, which we'll talk about, that you just got a grant for. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you've also been a speaker at the Media Summit, Tech Fest. Look at you. You're everywhere. And now we're going to get to this, and we're going to let everybody know that this was just announced this week, right? That you won a grant from who? Amplify Photo, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that.
So I usually do that. I applied for many grants and things. So I applied with my father's story. That is an ongoing story that I'm doing, and it's a story about unemployment and also how it's affect well-being. I actually entered that story to Amplify Photo Grant, and I just got this news that I own the grant, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I was so happy because I think I developed my writing a little bit, but before that I was not a good writer. But right now, I think when lockdown started and when COVID started, what I did, I actually tried to develop my writing skill, because it's really important while you are doing a photo story. And you should write your own story, because you know your story better. So you should use your own language. So yeah, that's how it happened.
So Jamie Green, a dear friend of mine, and we worked together many years at the New York Times. Jamie, thank you for being here. What a wonderful surprise. Miss you, man. He says, I'm a words person, not a photographer, as my friend Stefan knows. Yeah, I know that about you. But what comes first in your work, Ranita? He asked, do you look for good images, opportunities, or do you discover the images without specifically looking for them?
I couldn't really understand.
Sure. Can you put that back up, Jonathan, for a second, please? So Jamie is basically asking, do you look for good images and opportunities, or do you discover are you always looking for the pictures, or do they just kind of enter into your life as you're exploring different parts of India and different places you go to?
So those who knows me well, they knew that I took picture always with my mobile phone or whatever I have. I love to create Instagram stories because I took so many pictures daily. And some of the picture that I'm using in my stories, and those are getting published in somewhere, those are like from my daily life thing. It's not, I never really planned my photographs, but yeah, when I'm doing a story, like I'm doing a story on my father, like I'm doing a story on my grandma, then I plan that how I really want my visual thing, and I draw everything. What kind of frame I want, or what kind of environment I am really wanted. So yeah, that's how I really planned, and most of the time it just happened.
Well,
And
I was
yeah,
going,
yes.
Sudipta and Ranita, I was going through your Instagram feed as I go through everything and preparing for these shows, and it's just such an incredible experience every 2 weeks to go through all of these photographers' works. But Ranita, your photos have been picked up by everybody. I mean, they've been picked up by the State Department on forced labor and one of the big, hard, really just terrible issues of our time and for years. But it's also, your work has been picked up by the Caravan magazine on Instagram. They're constantly being reposted. There's WP, the Journal, Women Photographers, the Journal, pick up your work. You've been a part of the 2018 30 under 30 women photographers. Now, although it's 2018, I had to point this out because some of the photographers in this are, amazing that you were combined with here. I mean, incredible work by so many of them. And to see your name there and your photo on the promo card, wow, what an incredible experience it's been for you. Right, Sudipta?
Absolutely right.
Well, Sudipta, when you look at all this, everything that she's accomplished in such a short amount of time, I mean, what do you think? I mean, Ranita she's just like a young phenom, right?
Actually, I must tell you that she always make me proud. She always.
Oh, that's
As
sweet.
as
That is
the
sweet.
once in 2015, people used to tell that she is my student. Now everybody is telling, "Oh, see, look, Sudipto, he is Ronita's student teacher." That's the thing. The thing has changed. But Ronita is very popular nowadays, and she's a amazing lady, amazing, and
Um,
amazing perception. Now everybody is used to ask the how you captured. As sometimes ago, somebody asked me how whether you are discovering or you are just capturing. She is just capturing. Yes, she
right,
is just capturing. The thing is that she creates as the imaging. She is having an imaging relationship in between brain and eye.
right.
That's why that so
Well,
quickly it synchronizes.
let me tell you something. I knew Renita was a power player too. She didn't. She came to New York, and
Yeah, yeah,
we got together.
absolutely.
Thanks to
Yeah,
Estras. Thanks to Estras, we got together and we met.
right, right.
We spent a whole day together. We went to the New York Public Library. We went to Grand Central Terminal. We went to ICP. We had
Yeah.
lunch together in the Little India section in New York City in Manhattan. But when we were at ICP, she said, I have to go to ICP later. So I
Mhm.
said, oh, okay, well, I'll probably, maybe go with you or whatever. We walk in and, I ended up being her guest. I'm like, okay, she's coming to New York, my town where I know everybody. And I'm all of a sudden her guest. And I knew Ranita was like, man, I'm telling you, she's not only a great photographer, she's a power player in the business already.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
She's humble. She's so humble, and she's blushing.
Absolutely. She is very humble. She is very humble.
No,
She never
she
she
has a
never
tremendous
put
gift.
her feet off from the surface, from the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
She's very down to earth.
So let me ask you, Sudipta, and then we're going to I'm going to get into more of Ranita's work here.
Yeah.
What if you had one prediction about Ranita? What is it? What would it be?
Uh, I told you that if I describe Ronita, then I describe as what we cannot see abnormally, she can see normally.
Okay,
That is the ultimate catch line.
okay,
So whenever if you go to a place, I can see that two three pictures it's okay, but if it will be captured by Ronita, you can get 15 numbers of very good images.
right,
In fact, Ronita is making photo story, but each and every image, if you see, there is a story.
Right. Well, that's a real tweetable moment, as I would say, that catchphrase that you said. So when I'm done with the show, I'm definitely going to tweet that out. If my colleague Rose Horowitz, who's a great tweeter and social media person, it doesn't beat me to it, but or Sri, who is watching, hopefully he's still here with us. But I have to tell you, I want everybody to please know, please share this broadcast. Please not only like it, but share it with your family and friends, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're watching with us now. We've had many, many comments. Jonathan, do we have any other comments that we have from our viewers? Because I see, a bunch, but maybe we can bring a couple of more on to Stefan Falke's here. Great photographer from New York who was a guest on the show. A real talent, love her work. Stefan is a really accomplished photographer. DJ Rodriguez is here saying beautiful photo. We like to give shout outs on this show. Okay. Thank you. I'm trying to total blank because he changed his Twitter handle and now I'm stuck. Don't do that to me, people. This is awesome. But anyway, Sudipta, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show, but more importantly, Jonathan, can we put Sudipta's Instagram up? I want everybody to know where they can find Ranita's mentor and where they can check out his work. So we're going to put your banner back up. Your ticker. You can find Sudipta at the Instagram handle on the ticker below there. So you please check out his work, learn more about him. But one of the things I want to do right now is we bid farewell to Sudipta. And Sudipta, thank you so much for taking the time to wake up this morning and share your experience and your journey with Ranita. It's wonderful.
Thank you. You are most welcome, Stephen.
You woke up so early to be here. I really do appreciate your time and your generosity. So please take care. Please be well. And please stay tuned as we continue the show, okay?
Sure. Thank you, Stephen.
Okay, Ranita, say bye because we're going to take a moment. All right, bye, Sudipta. All right, Ranita, give me 1 second. What I'd like to do right here is just have a word from our sponsor. StreamYard, folks. StreamYard is the incredible live streaming platform that is the sponsor of my show. And I have to tell you, it is one of the best live streaming platforms out there. In my opinion, it's the best. I have grown so much as a social media and visual strategist, being able to now bring these shows to you and produce these shows for other people, including working with Sri Srinivasan and the DigiMentors crew. I have to tell you, live streaming is the future in many ways of social media, and it's great to be able to combine it all now. But I want to get on now with a lot of Ranita's work. She's been published everywhere, as we're showing here. Look at this layout she had in a newspaper and magazine. But one of the things, Ranita, that I wanted to talk to you about is during the pandemic, something special happened for you as a person. Tell us about that. I won't say it. I'll let you say it. Tell us about what you discovered during the pandemic, being in isolation for quite a while now.
So during pandemic, I think when at 2020, I came back from Jakarta and I was in quarantine. And during that time, I was all alone. I didn't meet anyone. And I love to take self-portrait. But that time I realized that I'm not just taking self-portrait or anything, something like that. It's really special and it's kind of healing me. Because it was a really depressed situation for me. I was in quarantine and that whole virus thing is going on. And also my father was really unwell because he got back-to-back 2 brain stroke and his left side got paralyzed. And I was so depressed, but what I discovered during the lockdown, that self-love is really important And when you take care of yourself and you understand yourself better, you can do better things and you can understand others better. So that's how my story. I started a story from there, and it's also ongoing story. It's about myself and my dreams and desire and how I take care of myself. And everyone should love themselves first. I think that's really important. So it's also about mental health during lockdown. Many of people, they are suffering, depression, and I think we can do little things for ourselves. And sorry, I just read the comments. So, yeah.
Oh no, it's fine. Jamie was saying before Sudipta and you that the student has become the teacher. That is that is a really high accolade. A really beautiful comment from Jamie. Jamie knows journalism and photography really well. Edward says, "Wow, I don't know how Edward types so fast." He writes, "The editorial choice for presenting the image in black and white. It would be interesting to hear how you, Ranita, arrive at the decision. Is it a pre-visualization? You see it that way first, or when you process the images on the computer? And of course, there's the subject matter, which one in color, which one not." So basically, Edward's asking, what are your views about color in black and white, and how do you go about deciding shooting in color or black and white?
So when I started photography, most of the time I was doing like black and white photographs because I find it like a comfortable thing. But I actually, when I started creating my color images, and I got a really good compliment. I think it's a compliment, obviously, from National Geographic editors. I was in National Geographic, and there were 5 or 6 editors, and they saw my work in color, and they are like, "I think you are underestimating yourself. That you cannot shoot in color. You cannot do stories in color. You should consider doing that because your color work is good." So yeah, but I think for me, I don't decide actually the story that it should be in color or black and white. I think every story has its own color, own structure, and own visual thing, and you just have to grab that thing that this is my story, and what this story is telling me, how that story should be. I mean, it's not like I don't decide, it just happened. I just started shooting, and I don't process the image while I'm shooting. It's just I spent time with my images, and I started realize that this story, what should I do, and what should be done with this story. And it's kind of, the story is telling me that you should do it in color or you should do it in black and white. It does that, and it just happened. It's not I decided before shooting. So yeah.
Well, I love the mix that you did. Now, this is what an accomplishment this was. You must have been in what they say the term is seventh heaven, because to be approached by the Washington Post and to do a story for the Washington Post magazine. Ranita, people wait a lifetime for that. And you've done it so early in your career. I mean, what an accomplishment to be in the Washington Post magazine. Bravo. And what a beautiful, beautiful story about India, and, to tell a story visually for them. They gave you quite the spread. I mean, look at this photo is magnificent. Tell us about this moment when you found this moment.
So I was in a assignment with my mentor, Sudipta Chakraborty, and that was my first assignment in 2015.
Okay.
But I was just a co-photographer. It was not really serious kind of work that I was doing. And during the break, during the assignments, we are on break, and I saw that that my boys were playing, and they just started jumping on that pond, and I just captured that moment, and it just happened, and I was like, yeah, I got the images, but it just really happened. I didn't have any idea they will jump together, but it's a memorable one. And when Washington Post they sent me the cover photo. With this photo,
Right.
I didn't have any idea that my story will be the cover story.
Wow.
Because I didn't have any idea. I was like, yeah, they will publish my story, but when they sent me this page, I'm like, is it real? I mean, I checked my email so many times. I'm like, no, it's not real, but yeah, it's real. And I have this magazine, even it's also printed.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's also printed.
Well, I mean,
so
look at the beautiful title they gave this photo essay too: "Discovering Home: The Soul and Serenity of India" by Ranita Roy. Wow, I mean, like I said, people wait a lifetime to be published in newspapers and magazines, but the Washington Post magazine is iconic, as like the New York Times magazine is in many ways. So to be in such a magazine, what an accomplishment. Bravo, bravo. But let's show some of, this was at an award for the West Bengal State Award for Photography. And what an honor to be standing there with that photo behind you, you know?
yeah.
I mean,
It's this photo actually win many awards, but I never thought that it will be in Washington Post cover. So
right. Well, we're going to skip past these because we're going to move on to some other work. We already talked about your amazing grandmother, so I didn't mean to skip past her again. Please apologize to your grandmother for that one. But I wanted to get to some of the other work you've done. For example, on this story, please tell us about these photos I'm going to show of these workers in India.
So this story I have done for Reuters, and I went first day, and there was nothing was happening. So I was sad because it's so far away from my home.
Mm-hmm.
And on the second day I went there, and obviously there was nothing was really happening, and I waited for a long time. I think 5 or 6 hours from morning, and they started working in the afternoon. After afternoon, actually, they started, and I got this amazing, photographs with the lights and everything. So it's a brickfield workers, and they work every day. Mainly, I focused on women worker in brickfield, and it got published in some Reuters. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, these are really, really great photographs, and we're going to show a whole selection here of your work for Reuters on this topic, on this assignment. I mean, you captured all the essential elements in this story that you would want in a great photojournalistic story. The photo right here is just so revealing, so powerful, so well captured. The composition, the focal length, everything, and then of course the workers in the I guess you would call it the brick pit, right?
Yes.
Sort of like a pit, and then the labor that these women have to endure in doing this work, and the conditions and everything. You see how hard and what a tough thing it is. But you've also done work, a lot of work. So we talked about it in the intro about your studies on the environment and other things, and your degree and everything. So you've worked with NGOs on different stories. Tell us about this one about seed planting. I found it fascinating.
So in 2020 October, I got this assignments from a international NGO,
Right.
and I went to South India, and I never been to South India before. And South India is really rich, and it's an amazing place, and it's really green. I mean, it's amazing. And I went there, and I did quite a few story for the NGOs, and one of the story was. For, like with the seed planting.
Mhm.
So what they do actually, they mix cow dung and the mud, and they put the seed on it, and they make a ball. And the all the community people, they go to a place where there is no tree, and they throw this balls, and it's grow like a tree. So yeah, that's the whole idea of this project. And this NGO, that NGO is doing this work with the community people.
So I have a question for you. Since here they are throwing the seeds once they're packed in the mud and throwing them into the area there, and everything. So when they're doing this, you have the degree in environmental science. What is the benefits of what they're doing by putting the seeds inside of the mud and then doing it that way, as opposed to just planting it, a normal way?
So normally people plant but this is a really amazing technical thing, because when you throw the seeds like in a ball, and in a rainy season, it will grow by its own. You don't have to put water, you don't have to take care of it, it will just grow. And if you are doing with a community, I mean people in your community, it's just like you are playing with something.
Right.
So people do it in like they are doing their everyday work. It's really, they are really happy while they are doing this stuff. So it's really important, while you are doing something, you are happy.
Right.
And it's a natural process. And if you are throwing this ball, and it's a rainy season, it will grow by its own. You don't have to take care of it. And yeah, so they planted many big trees, you can see here. And that's the sister. She's the main. I think she's an amazing woman. She actually collected all the seeds and everything, and they created this whole forest. And so yeah.
Well, look how beautiful and green it is over there in South India, right?
Yeah.
So it's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that the beauty of the land there. So so tell me about this photo, Ranita, because I was really interested in this when I saw it. What is the meaning of this statue?
So it's just an environmental sort that where they are working, and I found its head is really interesting in nowhere. It's like a nowhere, and so they are making a big statue of Jesus, and they actually put the head in this, under the tree, and I found it really interesting, I guess. So I just took this picture.
Yeah, no. I just was wondering if it had any exact specific significance in terms of why it's there.
No, not really.
No problem.
No, not really.
I was just curious when I came across them. So that is a lot of the photos that we have from some of that work. One of the things I wanted to do is highlight a few of these incredible photos that I just had to share, that I would kind of say are some of my absolute favorites from some of the recent work that you showed me. Tell us about this one here, because I can't stop looking at it. The whole week that I saw it, I keep going back to it. So it's really that special. It's absolutely stunning.
So this photo is on Washington Post magazine also.
Right.
Yeah. And this picture I think I took in 2016 or 15. I love to capture my daily life and daily activities, and it's a amazing place in just in river bank of Ganga, and they actually practice this ritual Ganga Aarti. So every day I used to go there and shoot the whole ritual each and every day. I was kind of obsessed with this whole ritual and how, because I love light and smoke. Whenever I see smoke and something interesting with the light, I need to capture that photographs.
Yeah,
And
you do,
with,
yeah.
with this photograph, every day I saw that they are doing the same thing, and it's kind of really amazed me that they are, doing the whole ritual together. And I took these photographs, and you can see the hands behind. And so there is, I think, four. We call it purohit is who are performing the ritual. So I took this photograph because the light was amazing, the backlight and the smoke, and also the hand. I found it really. It's not the photograph that you can find every day.
No. It is
Yeah.
such a special moment.
Yeah, I tried again after that day, but
Yeah.
that day was, I mean, yeah. So
No. Listen, there's so much to play with light and smoke and other things, but you really have learned how to control those things when you're around them and find those really great moments. I see we also have Anita Sonia watching, who's doing a great live stream, 100 Days with Anita Sonia. She's live streaming 100 straight days in a row. I applaud her on that. Check her out. And then, so many other people watching. But one of the other photos that struck me so much was you've worked during some of the really powerful storms in India, some of the cyclones, for instance. Tell us about this photo. And I find it to be so incredibly powerful because this was after a storm, correct?
yeah. So I captured 3 cyclones back to back from 2019 to 2020.
Wow.
And this photograph I took aftermath of Cyclone Fani, and the cyclone was really strong. And when we went there, I think after 3 or 4 months, after the cyclone, we went that place to Odisha, Puri, and we saw that people lost their, home, and many people, they lost their lives, and it's like a disaster. You can see people on the street, you can see cows and so many animals on street because they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have any shelter. So that was a disaster, and I took this photograph. I was interviewing this woman, and I heard her story, and she lost her home. She doesn't have that home, and I was working with the NGO as a picture and as a photographer. So yeah, that's why I took these images to represent that they lost their home and they don't have their roof.
Well, once again, it's your incredible recognition and the way you see light and patterns and using the light with the dark, with the shadows. I mean, to think the way you think when you're composing a photo. If I had to think of what you would come out of a shoot like this with, I could not predict a photo like this. It's absolutely perfect. It's so unusual and powerful at the same time, with her looking up at the sky, given probably the wreckage in the area and everything else that these people have endured from the storms. But really, really masterful work. Now, tell us about also your use of your love of portraits, because you do a bunch of portraits, and I'm going to show a couple of what I deem your best. I think this one and another one that I'm going to show are just powerful. But wait, Edward has a comment. It reminds me of a photo taken during wartime situation, a woman looking up to see if everything is now safe Very powerful. Very true, Edward. Very true. Thank you. Absolutely. But tell us about your you have a fondness for taking really great portraits too. Tell who is this right here, by the way?
So he's my father, Ganesh Chandra Roy, and
Right.
he used to work outside of the state. And when he came to see us, and I took this photograph during, I think during afternoon. That light was amazing, and my dad was sitting on a chair, and I saw that light is coming through a window, and you can see the shadow. It's the shadow of that window, and also you can see the in the left side of the eye. You can see the extra eye. So it's a reflection. So I didn't took this portrait directly. I captured a reflection on a window. So that's why you can see eye in.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a direct portrait. It's just a reflection of my father's.
It is so unusual, that one eye off to the side there because of the reflection. But the crisscross of the light, and your father has such a incredible look on his face, looking out at the light. Just a wonderful capture of your dad. Bless him. Just a beautiful photo. Then we get to another image that I had to pull to show because, wow, I mean, I want to see more portraits from you, Ranita. You do great portraiture.
Yeah, but I never planned for a portraiture. It's just
I know.
Yeah, I don't have that. I never study what is portrait is. I just took images. Like I didn't know back then that what is portrait, what is landscape. I just took picture what I like, and still I'm doing these things because I never decided anything. And this photograph I can remember I took during the aftermath of Fani cyclone as well. And this man, he also lost his son and also his home, and he was talking about that storm and that night, and he looked at the beach and the seaside, and that time I find this, you can see his eyes, and he was so frightened while he was talking about the storm. So yeah, that's why I took these pictures.
He has the stories and the stories and the whoops. Jonathan's here. It's okay. Jonathan, come on and say hello, everybody. Jonathan Borstein, my great co-producer who's muted. Once again, you're gonna have to unmute to say hello, Jonathan. Hold on, we have this happen once in a while. Jonathan, hit the unmute button. Okay, when you find it, let us know and we'll bring you back on. Anyway, Jonathan's a great assistant. He helps me drive the car with all of the banners, all of the tickers, helps me with the narration of the intro and many things. It takes a team to put together such a great broadcast to be able to show you these great photographers' work like Ranita and everything. But I have to tell you, Ranita, there are just so many things that you do, but creatively, I want you to tell people how you created this image and what it means to you, because I find it to be so telling of the time that we're in. And when I found out what it was about, then even more so. So tell us about this, Ranita.
So this image, actually, I planned this image. Right. This is my brother's hand, and during the pandemic, while we are in lockdown, I was creating images for WP Journal because I am a member of WP Journal, and we need to submit a bunch of photographs for a exhibition. And then I took this photograph. So it's a pond, and you can see a gloves. and now hand is holding that glove. So for me, this is a picture of the connection we have made during the lockdown. Um, it's a actually for me it's a portrait. It's a portraiture of the time that we are in, and we need virtual connection, and we need to be safe, and we need this gloves, and I mean this safe thing. So for me, yeah, that's the photograph.
Yeah, well, we want to give a shout out to Women Photograph because we have the ticker right here. Learn more about Women Photograph at womenphotograph.com because you've worked with them, you've been part of their organization now and everything, working with many different women photographers. I really do. This is a really great creative image because the contrast between your brother's hand and the glove and everything that we've been through with the pandemic and isolation. It's a very telling photo. Very well done. Really, really, really beautiful. And your use once again of portraiture. Tell us about this photo here, Ranita.
So I took this photograph in 2016, I guess, and it was a ritual that was happening, and it's in rural India. So me and my mentor, we went there because whenever I shoot street photography or anything like not I'm not in assignments or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly went out with my mentor, and we went there, and there was a ritual was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw this moment, and they were shouting this man before the other ritual. So I took many pictures, but for me, this is special because of the water. You can see how it's flowing, and
Right.
you can see the intense in his eyes. So yeah.
Oh, it's just stunning. There's so much to be looked at and said about this photograph. It really is something to marvel at. So those are the ones that I wanted to highlight. But you had some other work that you've been doing that I wanted to give you a chance to share briefly. If you wanted to do that on the screen, you can certainly share it. I know that you wanted to talk about a couple of things. If you simply hit the share button from your screen, because you've been editing this work and you wanted to talk about it a bit. If you want to show a selection of it, I can put it up on the screen here, like so. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a few about
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it just fine. Yep.
Okay. So I took this picture during the protest against Citizenship Amendment Act in India from 2019 to 2020. I took all of this picture in Kolkata, and I love to capture protest because the energy, and you can see the mainly the youth. They are protesting against the wrong thing, and now even farmer, they are protesting against a bill. So it's really fascinating for me while I'm capturing the protest, and I can see the energy of student and how they are expressing themselves. So yeah, they're fighting against all odds, I think.
Right.
So for me, I think, and it gives me more energy and more strength to capture truth.
Mm-hmm. No, protests, there is that element at protests. I've been to numerous protests throughout my life, and there is that raw energy that you can't capture anywhere else. That photo right there is amazing. The slow shutter speed and the use of color, but yeah, the crowds, the clashing sometimes, unfortunately, of the police and protesters and other things at numerous protests around the world. There's that energy that is really, really revealing when you're there, that you'll never get anywhere but those moments. Is there something? Oh, so here's the other one you wanted to show briefly of some
Yeah.
of the work you've done. Why don't you tell us about this, Rita?
So recently I have done this story for WaterAid
Water.
and
Okay.
for the World Water Day program. And I'm showing just few of the photographs from the whole story. I did three or four story for them. I'm just showing you the few photographs, and I followed few people and their daily life and how they use light, how they use water.
Look at that photo, folks, right there. Ranita and I were going through some photos yesterday, and she showed me this. And I said, this photo here is going to be a prize winner. It's going to be entered in something, and she's going to end up with a top prize. This photo has so many great elements to it, between the beautiful use of light, once again, by a master of light here at such a young age. But the way the shadow is cast on the hut, on her home, with it feels like it's a religious symbol on the wall there, the way you see a statue of a religious figure cast on the wall there. Wow, I might have to buy this one from you, Ranita. I'm in love with it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, but you can't because it's an NGO.
Well, I'm going to have to find the NGO and get it from them. It's one of my favorite photographs that I've ever seen that you've taken. It's beautiful.
So they have to walk for a mile to get the safe drinking water, and you can see the bridge is almost broken, and it's really dangerous while they are walking on the bridge and they are collecting the water.
Sure. I mean, look at what she was crossing there with. Yeah, it's very dangerous. People have to always realize, the conditions that so many workers and so many people around the world, especially in India too, that they work under to be able to survive. And yet they still do it so beautifully in so many ways and so gracefully in so many ways. Ranita, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you. Thank you. It's absolutely beautiful work, and you continue to do the best of the best. And I have to tell you, we're going to sort of bring it to a close here. But one of the things I wanted to tell everybody is that they should make sure that they follow Ranita at Ranita3Roy on Instagram, and make sure that you check out Ranita.com and check out her website with many other great stories with NGOs and other organizations, and her whole history of her work at such a young age. Learn more about this young phenom, as I call her, and dear friend now. I can't wait till this pandemic is over so she can come back to New York and we can walk around taking some more pictures in New York. It was such a joy being with you a year ago and doing that and getting to know you. I had one of the best days that day, just hanging out with you and taking you all over the city. It was so much fun. Ranita, you're blessed. You have a real gift, and I think you will continue to document the world and very important issues out there to teach us all about them. And we're very lucky to have you as a guest and as a photographer and human being in this world. So thank you very much for being here, Ranita.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed the whole show, and people should follow him also and follow the show. Thank you, everyone.
Oh no, absolutely, Ranita. So we're going to bring Sudipta on one more second here to say goodbye too, because he was backstage listening to the whole thing after we brought him on earlier. Sudipta, thank you once again for coming on.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So listen, stay backstage, both of you. I'll be with you in 1 second, okay?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right there. So folks, I wanted to thank you for tuning in to another Spin It Social Hour with Ranita Roy this week. Learn more about her, learn more about Sudipta, and follow them on Instagram and share their work, share this broadcast so that more people know about them. one of the things that I wanted to do right now as we close is I wanted to once again mention that I am a social media and visual strategist and specialist. And I'm always available to work on productions and social media and with organizations out there. I'm looking for a new home. So if you want to bring me on board, let's do some work together. Spin It Social. There's my information. Please connect with me. But I also wanted to mention next week's guest, but in a second. But one of the things I wanted to mention also was that Sri's Sunday NYT Read Along. I work with Digi Mentors and Sri. Is this Sunday, and it's going to have the award-winning investigative journalist for the Associated Press, Jason Deeren, who is the author of Kill Shot, A Shadow Industry of a Deadly Disease. And please tune into the Sunday NYT Read Along with Sri this Sunday at 8:30 a.m. But my next guest, I am thrilled to announce, is Lola Akestrom. She's coming to us all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. And Lola is an incredibly accomplished photographer, originally from Nigeria, who lives in Sweden. Follow her on Instagram at Lola Akestrom. And please tune in on Thursday, April 1st at 6 p.m., 11 p.m. Central European time. She's coming on this show at a late hour just for us, to tell us all about her journey and her work. It's going to be a wonderful show. I can't wait to have her on. And I wanted to say thank you once again for tuning into the Spin It Social Hour. Number one, please take care of yourselves. Number two, please take care of everybody out there and wear your masks, and let's protect each other. Be well, everybody. This has been Stefan Kaplan once again with the Spin It Social Hour. See you on April 1st at 6 p.m. Okay? We're coming to you early that night, because or else it would be 2 in the morning to 3 in the morning for Lola, and we're not going to put her through that. So once again, take care. Good night, everybody.